Did you hear the news? Sheryl Swoopes has been officially fired. That's right. The #1 Caitlin Clark hater in the WNBA has just been fired from her job, and it's not looking good for the WNBA veteran.
It looked like you got fired, bro. It looked like she got fired. I just gotta keep it real.
Sheryl Swoopes had been hating on Caitlin Clark ever since she debuted, and her statements were anything but respectful. Did she really think she could get away with all that hate and bias against the Rookie of the Year? Fast forward to today, and Sheryl Swoopes has been compensated for all her hate by getting kicked out of her WNBA job.
Let's talk about what's going on right now with Sheryl Swoopes, or what's not going on with Sheryl Swoopes. Does she even have a job now? Does she even have a job? Did all of her disdain and public scrutiny and public hate for Caitlin Clark get her fired from everything? Hey man, you said it with your chest, and now you gotta eat the consequences of your words.
For the last year, Swoopes has been on a one-woman mission to discredit Caitlin Clark. As if her job said Chief Jealousy Officer, she had been rolling her eyes, downplaying accomplishments, and dragging Caitlin's name in the dirt like it was a bag of old laundry. But this is not the first time her antics have gotten her in trouble with the authorities. She had also been fired from her previous jobs because of her improper behavior.
Loyola University basketball coach Sheryl Swoopes, she's under investigation, accused of mistreating players. One of them is speaking out this morning, telling us why she wanted to transfer. ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with the details. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, Lara. Sheryl Swoopes was the first woman to ever sign with the WNBA. But this morning, the college coach is not only under fire, but under investigation after reports that the majority of her roster.
Let's be real, Sheryl Swoopes is one of the WNBA's veterans and a Hall of Famer. But ever since hanging up her jersey, her career has been problematic to say the least. She was already under investigation at Loyola University for mistreating players back when she was coaching. Multiple players accused her of toxic behavior, and she didn't exactly walk away with a trophy.
Turned Loyola College basketball coach Sheryl Swoopes is being investigated this morning amid allegations that she mistreated players.
It was the environment she had created. I was belittled, humiliated, made to feel extremely small.
Head coach since 2013, last year 5 of her players reportedly transferred to different programs. And this year, a reported 10 of the team's 12 players aren't planning on coming back.
Just because you are a great player doesn't make you a great coach.
That's correct. Just because Sheryl Swoopes was a great player in the past doesn't make her a great human. She had been accused of misconduct, improper conduct, and toxic behavior during her coaching days at Loyola University. After the investigation, she was kicked out of the job, but that's not where her toxicity ended. Nope, instead of learning a lesson, she went all in on hating when Clark debuted last season.
Here, Sheryl Swoopes is back again. I'm convinced at this point that all she does is she does this all for attention. She is the definition of an attention whore.
Let's not pretend we didn't all see this coming. We all knew this was coming one day or another, because Sheryl would start foaming at the mouth anytime someone dared to mention Caitlin Clark. The moment she started breaking WNBA records and earning accolades, Sheryl was breaking down on live air like she had lost everything. But the only thing breaking was Swoopes' ego.
She wants the attention, and we're going to give it to her because she keeps asking for it. She keeps making outrageous comments that are just unbelievably stupid, and it never seems to stop when it comes to Sheryl Swoopes. In a time where there's nothing really to talk about.
And now, karma has caught up with Sheryl's poisonous behavior. The WNBA has finally had enough of her obsessive anti-Clark narrative and pulled the plug on Sheryl's entire broadcast career like an angry parent turning off the Wi-Fi after 10 p.m. And honestly, it's about time. You don't get to weaponize your basketball experience as an excuse for being petty, especially when you are targeting the greatest rookie in basketball history.
The WNBA had no faith in Sheryl Swoopes calling today's game in an unbiased and unprofessional manner, so instead, they brought in the big guns. Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman and Ron Thulin are going to be on the announcing team today saying, Sheryl Swoopes, you could take the day off. Sheryl Swoopes, you can have the day
Instead of using her platform to elevate the game or praise the newcomers, Sheryl used it to downplay the most relevant women's athlete and tarnish her reputation by spreading lies about Caitlin Clark. Imagine watching someone bring millions of new eyeballs to a sport you claim to love, and your reaction is to downplay every bucket, discredit every accolade, and act like Clark's success is somehow an attack on your legacy. I mean, this is not just jealousy, it's pure hatred.
And it is clear that no matter what she says, she has problems with everything Indiana Fever related. She has problems with Caitlin Clark. No matter what she says, it doesn't matter at this point. There's always something new that's going to come out of Sheryl Swoopes' mouth that is, quite frankly, inflammatory, disrespectful, and completely wrong, and filled with fucking lies. She is a walking lie.
That's right. After seeing her constant hate for Caitlin Clark, many experts believe that Sheryl Swoopes was doing the hate thing just for publicity and keeping her name in the media. Because there's nothing like negative publicity. But after her non-stop hate campaign against Caitlin Clark, many believe that Sheryl literally hates Clark and her achievements.
I'm beginning to think that Sheryl Swoopes is using Caitlin Clark to lift her own profile. I think she is using Caitlin Clark to keep her name in the mainstream. Think about it. Before Caitlin Clark left professional basketball to play pretend basketball in the WNBA, how many of you knew of Sheryl Swoopes? Outside of her constant disrespect of Caitlin Clark, how often do you hear about the pooper swooper?
Sheryl had the audacity to question Clark's toughness, her leadership, and her ability to transition into the league, all while Caitlin was out here putting up enormous numbers and letting her game talk.
That I was like, okay, here's once again another example of Sheryl Swoopes hating Caitlin Clark so much that she literally can't even say her name. It's like Caitlin Clark is the Voldemort if Sheryl Swoopes was Harry Potter. Like, literally cannot say Caitlin Clark's name. It is so bizarre and so weird.
Did you hear that? Sheryl had predicted that Clark would become paralyzed from the physicality of the WNBA. She said, and I quote, "It would take her out of the game." And this take from Sheryl Swoopes, it aged like fine wine, because not only did Clark manage to stay on her game, she broke records, ankles, and egos while doing it.
The physicality of the game on this level is very different than what Caitlin, Angel, Camilla, all of them saw in college, right? So a lot of the stuff with Caitlin handling the ball, when you were talking about Luka, right? And Dort putting all the pressure on him. There are players who are going to get up in her space from the time she touches the ball, and they're going to be very physical with her. And so that alone is going to take her out of her game.
And here's the part that makes this even funnier. Caitlin didn't respond, not even once. She didn't clap back in interviews. She just dropped buckets, sold jerseys, and kept smiling like she wasn't living rent-free in Sheryl's brain.
And it says Caitlin Clark raised the profile of women's basketball to unprecedented levels in both the college ranks and the WNBA. And Tuesday, she was named the AP Female Athlete of the Year for her impact on and off the court. They went on to talk about her leading Iowa to the national championship game, and then she became the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, and then went on to win Rookie of the Year. From there, you guys, she has won so many awards and broken so many records. It's actually become a meme at this point because it's just crazy. People are putting together graphics and there's just so many.
After a full season of spewing nonsense, moving goalposts, and straight up lying about the greatest rookie in league history, the network executives at WNBA finally decided they'd had enough of her nonsense and they are kicking her out.
Never! I have not seen an obsession like this since the decades-long obsession that Skip Bayless had with LeBron James. And credit should be given to Caitlin Clark because she is doing exactly what LeBron James did to Skip Bayless. Like the rest of us have for decades, Caitlin Clark is treating Sheryl Swoopes like she doesn't exist.
I mean, this is irony at its absolute best. The woman who spent every waking moment downplaying Clark's achievements now finds herself unemployed while Clark continues to rewrite the record books.
Sheryl Swoopes being platformed by the WNBA, being platformed to spew her nonsense, her lies, her hate, her garbage, her mess, her biasness, all of that crap. WNBA said, maybe take the year off, Sheryl. Maybe take the year off.
Let's call it what it is. Sheryl Swoopes has turned herself into a walking anti-Caitlin Clark poster. And if jealousy was a statistic, Swoopes would be averaging a triple-double every game.
Quarters. Well, my God, Sheryl Swoopes just cannot. She can't stop. She can't not try to light a fire involving Caitlin Clark. She can't just be.
And here's the truly tragic part of this entire saga. All of this hate parade could have been avoided if Sheryl just did the one thing that legends are supposed to do: uplift the next generation. But instead, she chose hate over inspiration. And in doing so, she's not just burning bridges with the next generation, she's also setting her own legacy on fire.
Spade to spade, Sheryl Swoopes continues to take digs, take shots, act like a spoiled, bitter, old, jealous hag on her weekly Trash of the Court podcast, along with her and her other.
Remember when Clark won the Athlete of the Year? Everybody was giving their approval and clapping for Caitlin Clark. Everyone except Sheryl Swoopes. Because why be a fan when you can be a salty player hater, right? Instead of giving respect to her, Sheryl started asking nonsensical questions or raising fingers at the award itself.
Sheryl, I'll start with you. What's your reaction to Caitlin Clark winning Time Magazine Athlete of the Year?
I don't think I'm surprised. I'm curious to know who the other candidates were, but the fact that that's the very first WNBA player to ever win Time Magazine Athlete of the Year is pretty special. And my question is, like the criteria, is it based off of her performance?
Instead of uplifting women's basketball and inspiring rookies, Swoopes has decided to turn her platform into an anti-Clark megaphone. She's less of a mentor and more of a villain in the story of the WNBA.
Instead, we got what's the criteria? The criteria? The criteria, one, Sheryl, is that she's elite. And you said she had a great year. No, she had an elite year. She was first team all WNBA as a rookie. She finished 4th in league MVP voting. She was the rookie of the year. She set countless records. She was a first for so many different. This is the player you're talking about. A player that's transcended the sport, basketball. And you're going to sit here and you're going to question that. And you say, what's the criteria?
Swoopes also claimed in a ridiculous fashion that Clark didn't dominate her rookie season. That's right. Swoopes was so blinded by her hatred for the Rookie of the Year that she chose to completely ignore facts and reality by claiming that Clark didn't dominate in her first WNBA season.
And so for her to be Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, I think it's really great for the league.
So in the Time article, Clark.
Out the gate, it ain't great for Caitlin, it's great for the league. Screw Caitlin, this is all about the league. What? What? Are you serious? When Caitlin was the one who gave y'all league relevance? Caitlin was the one, the reason why everybody's watching these damn games? But it's not about Caitlin, it's about the league.
Can you believe this? Clark was in the top 10 in scoring, as well as leading the league in assists and in points scored. She was the first rookie to record a triple-double and the fastest player in history to reach 100 three-pointers in a season. But sure, facts don't matter when Swoopes is busy hating on Clark.
Hating on Caitlin Clark, but Sheryl Swoopes just can't stop lying.
To me, what Caitlin's been able to do in a short period of time has been very impressive. Because I know people are like, oh my God, you said she wouldn't be good. But I didn't say she wouldn't be good. What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
But Swoopes' blind hatred for Clark didn't end with the rookie season. Nope. Instead, she was seen downplaying Clark and her team in the offseason as well. Just a few months ago, she was on her high horse, puffing out her chest, and boldly proclaiming that the Indiana Fever would never, and I mean never, be able to attract top-tier free agents.
Respectfully, there is absolutely no way, even when we're trying to sit here and play semantics about dominating, there's no way that anyone could ever leave this season in saying that both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese didn't dominate. You would have to further explain what dominance means for you to not sit here and say that a player who is leading the league in assists while averaging 19 to 20 points didn't dominate that.
That's right. Swoopes was boldly claiming that Clark was the reason many free agents wouldn't want to be in the Indiana Fever, and that their locker room was supposedly toxic because of Caitlin Clark and her fans.
there's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
But contrary to Swoops' predictions, the Fever executed a remarkable free agency period, securing veterans like Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, and Sophie Cunningham. These acquisitions not only bolstered the team's competitiveness, but also signaled a strong endorsement of Clark's leadership and the organization's direction. After hating so much, what did Cheryl end up with? Out of work. This is what happens when you bite the girl who feeds you. You end up being unemployed.
During the Gilbert Arenas podcast, Sheryl Swoopes famously was trying to stir the pot. All right? Or as I like to call it or refer to it as, start some shit. That's what she was trying to do. In regards to the Indiana Fever and their locker room situation, as she came on and was claiming that it was a sort of toxic environment, and I guess Caitlin Clark fans were making it hard on other players.
In the end, Sheryl Swoopes got fired for exactly what she deserved: spreading lies, manufacturing drama, and refusing to give credit where credit was due. She tried to rewrite the narrative and hate on Clark, but the league said, "No ma'am, exits on your left." Let's hope that Cheryl's learned her lesson now, or she's gonna end up paying more than her job. So what do you think? Will Sheryl Swoopes ever say sorry to Caitlin Clark for her lies? Tell us in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.